Tuesday, the 12th of April, the same day it's been revealed that a building called Kingdom Tower is to be constructed in Saudi Arabia. At 1 mile high, it's said to be the tallest building in the world. And alongside me, Andrea and McLean today are three women you'd be happy to run to the top of the tower to escape from. It's Lisa Maxwell, Carol McGiffin and Jared Street Porter! Britain's most popular actor is telling us about his latest ITV1 drama, The Reckoning. It's Max Beesley, and she's the inspirational woman who's shown nothing but extraordinary courage and bravery after a vicious acid attack left her permanently disfigured. Telling us how her future is looking very bright, it's Katie Piper! More from Max and Katie in just a bit, but first, down to business. And it looks like the summer sun has got us all shedding our clothes, with some lawyers in the city shedding a few too many layers, according to their bosses. City law firm Allen & Overy, the firm that Chelsea Davy is due to join in September, have had to send an email around warning its trainee lawyers, in particular the females, that it's been noted their skirts have become shorter and heels have become higher, and they were told they looked like they were going clubbing instead of to the office. So, when it comes to, you know, dealing with professionals, do you give those in a short skirt, short shrift?
Well, I think if you're a lawyer, I think it's a bit out of order, don't you? With a miniskirt and... What's the high heels got to do with summer, anyway? Is that kind of just because you
well,
like
since it's bare legs, I suppose you would wear high heels in winter.
Well, if I was spending money on their sorts of fees, then I would expect somebody to turn up in something a bit more sober.
Yeah. But, it's not too much to ask.
I don't think so, do you? What do you reckon?
No, not in that sort of profession. I think if, you know, if you're an assistant in, you know, a young person's boutique, you know, like Topshop or something, then it's fine, you know, because that's what you wear when you're young and you're working in a fashion environment. Even in the media, I suppose it's, you know, it's a bit more relaxed, but lawyers, no. How could you take a lawyer seriously if you're sitting there in a flowery baby doll dress with high heel platforms? No, I think it's wrong.
Or even an accountant's office or something. In an office, I think it's just put the aircon on.
But it's something to do with the British. The minute the sun comes out, we just get all our kit off, and then the temperature only has to go above 50, and we kind of take everything off bar our underwear. You know what I think it's all about? A lot of these young girls won't even have had school uniforms, and I know the government now is talking about making school uniforms compulsory again. If you've been through the discipline of wearing a uniform to school, perhaps you can get your head around the discipline of dressing appropriately at work. I mean, I kind of agree. If you're paying a load of money out for a solicitor, you don't want to see all their bits out, do you?
No, do you know what? When you're in Singapore, where it is permanently 95 degrees, I mean, it's right on the equator, it's boiling hot there. People don't walk around in shorts and mini skirts if they're going to work. Everybody wears suits. Everybody wears, you know, even the women even wear tights there. And in this amazing heat, I don't know how they do it, but they do.
Do you think
they
it's a generational thing? Because if you think back to, you know, our parents, our grandparents' era, nobody really had clothing that was aimed at their age. You sort of left school and then you went straight into your mum's twin set and pearls, and that was it. Whereas, you know, we've been through the 60s and 70s and then the mad styles of the 80s.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Andrea, because I remember as the oldest person on the panel, as Carol pointed out to the entire world yesterday, which I still have not forgiven her for, as the oldest old bat on the panel, I remember starting my first job in Fleet Street back before Carol was even in nappies, and I remember turning up for work in a pair of shorts and wondering why everybody looked at me. And even back then, I had no idea, you know, as a young journalist, that I should dress appropriately. And maybe it's my, you know, me sounding like a bit of a grumpy old woman, but I do think now it does send out the wrong message, that people don't take you seriously. And what's wrong? It's not, you know, infringing on your human rights to get your skirt back down to your knees, loves.
Do you think that, I mean, obviously we're talking about lawyers and what have you, but how about someone who doesn't have the same level of responsibility? Do you think it really matters that much? I mean, obviously, we work in a sort of media environment. You get lots of young girls coming in, maybe on work experience or what have you, and they look pretty cute.
But in the media, people are more interested in your personality and your individual qualities as opposed to, like, you know, a lollipop lady.
What do you mean?
Well, like, I mean, you wouldn't want to see it as one way of stopping the traffic, I suppose. but you wouldn't. You'd like to see them in the uniform with the, the white coat, and it's all part of it. Anyone with authority, I think, needs to be kind of.
And also, there are some professions that kind of demand that look.
What look?
Well, like if you're a hooker, it wouldn't go down very well if you were wearing a pinstripe suit. I don't think you wouldn't get much business, would you?
Carol, if you were a hooker in a lollipop lady's outfit,
well,
you might get nuclear on towel.
Oh, dear. So, what do you think about workers wearing short skirts in the office now that the sun is out? Would you take them less seriously? Let us know what you think about that and anything else we're talking about today. Get in touch by going to our website, emailing us at loose.women@itv.com or visiting our Facebook and Twitter pages. Get your messages in by 1:15 p.m. That's today, the 12th of April. And we could be reading them out a little bit later on. It's break time now, but still to come. Do you forgive others easily, or is it best to let them sweat it out for a bit? Find out what we think in 3. Welcome back to Loose Women this Tuesday afternoon. Now, it may be a key Christian principle, but the art of forgiveness may come to us all too easily, according to the Archbishop of Canterbury. Dr. Rowan Williams has told the Radio Times that the atrocities we faced in our society in the 20th century have focused our minds on the dangers of forgiving too easily, which can make suffering appear not to matter. In his Easter sermon last year, he told the congregation, our future is bound up with whether we are able to turn to those we have hurt and seek forgiveness. But can you forgive if those that have wronged you, if you feel they haven't suffered?
I do. People that have dreadful things that happen to them and you see them forgive because they have a faith or whatever, I find that truly inspirational. I think it's amazing when people are able to do that. I find it quite difficult to say sorry. It's something in my family. It's like a pride thing, and I know the importance of it, but I do over little things. Do you know what I mean? And I have harboured a grudge, and it isn't about teaching someone a lesson, but it does actually have a negative effect on you in the long term. This was a grudge that sort of started about 11, 12 years ago, and I made a decision very carefully at the time that I was wronged, and I've looked at it, revisited it, and thought I was wronged by somebody, and my life would probably be a bit easier if I just let it go. But nonetheless, that person did something wrong to me, and there is a difference between wrong and right, and I decided that actually I was going to stick to my guns and I do not speak to this person.
But have they asked for your forgiveness at all, and it's something you've withheld, or have they not even asked for it?
Yeah, they have apologised, actually, but it all came too easily. So I suppose in some way I don't want to make them suffer, but equally I cannot forgive. I can't find it in myself to forgive what actually happened.
It's interesting you should say that, because Jamie Bulger's mother was on the television yesterday and she cannot forgive the killers of her son. She just can't.
That's a much bigger thing.
Obviously, that's something that woman is going to carry with her, till the day she dies. And I understand where she's coming from, but I also think that her life would be better if she could move on. And, it's not to diminish what happened to her son. I just feel that, there must come a point in your life, like you've just said, Lisa, where you find it hard to forgive. But look at it another way. If you carry around within you all the things that have annoyed you and all the people that have done you wrong, I kind of think of it like a big rucksack on my back of bricks of rage and envy and revenge, and it just weighs you down.
Yeah, but
you don't have to forgive, though. I don't think you have to forgive, but I think you can forget, and I think you can move on. And I see it as like, I know this sounds really trivial, but, like if you're on Twitter and you just block somebody, you just block them, and you never hear from them again.
But you can't
and if they do something... Yeah, you can do that.
I've airbrushed out people.
Exactly.
I've airbrushed out friends. They've just crossed the line.
But then,
I'm not very forgiving at all. I don't forgive easily, but I also don't let it eat me.
Why they're being blocked, or do you just do it? Do you say to them, look, I'm not going to speak to you anymore because you've done something that I feel is horribly wrong. You're obviously not sorry about it, so I'm not going to deal with you anymore?
No, because normally people just don't want to... If I have to tell someone what they've done and why they've upset me, and they don't already know, then, you know, I think that's wrong. You know, and if you don't know why you've upset me and you don't know what you've done, I'm not going to tell you.
Surely it's
I'd
better
rather
to give
just
someone
not...
the opportunity to...
No. In certain
they
instances,
don't have the
Andrea,
foresight to know that maybe their behaviour is unexacceptable or they've done something.
No, but if they can't see it...
Surely it's better to give them the opportunity to take a step back and look at it. And then if they decide, well, I don't think I've done anything wrong, you've at least addressed it. But
Yeah,
if
but
it's
there is the problem that in society now, politicians say sorry every day of the week. They say sorry for things that happened before they were alive. We said sorry for slavery. And so the whole business, I see where the Archbishop is coming from, but unfortunately, the whole business of apologising in modern society has been totally devalued.
What you need to do is move, like I did, and not tell the people you don't like.
No, my parents...
Now they know who they are.
Lisa, my parents did that to me, don't you remember?
Your own parents?
Yes, they moved. Don't you remember? I was away on holiday and I rang home and somebody else answered.
I'll tell you what else can get you through the night.
Yeah.
You know, if something... Because I don't let things eat away at me and I don't dwell on them, I don't really bear grudges, but I do have this sort of insane belief that whatever... People always get what they deserve. And if they do something bad to me, I just leave it and I think one day they'll get their comeuppance.
Yeah.
And usually they do. And that is a greater pleasure.
And it doesn't have to come from you.
Never.
It will come
You can
around.
get a hitman.
No, what goes around comes around, and we wouldn't recommend that, Lisa Maxwell.
No.
OK, it's come.